Hello and welcome to my video on how to program the 10,000 revolution per minute digital speedo. These are available on eBay and Banggood, Aliexpress. Make a note, this is the 10,000 RPM version, not the 13,000 RPM version. Alright, so to program this, first of all, obviously switch it on. There's no need to hold any buttons during the switching on process. The main thing we're looking at is whether this is saying total or whether it's saying trip. Now when it's saying total, if you hold the right hand button, it'll switch between miles per hour and kilometers per hour. And switching back. If it's on trip, holding the right hand button will simply reset it. Now if it's on total and you hold the left hand button, it takes you into the clock setting function. Holding it again will take you out. Pressing it, taking you to the trip function, holding the left hand button will take you into the programming setup. Now, sometimes when you turn these on, it'll ask you for an ID, and the ID is 750. For some reason, this time it has not asked me for the ID. Oh, here we go, ID. Alright, let's do that. So, let's go 750, hold the left-hand button, and takes you into the programming mode. Now, LC is the front diameter of your, or the diameter of your tire, whichever one is registering your speed. It's in centimeters. Now, the easiest way to do this is you can measure the circumference of your tire. You can jump online and get a guide that tells you the circumference of your tire, or you can make a guess and then go for a ride, chuck a GPS speedo onto your phone or whatever and see what you can figure out. This has a maximum amount, I think, of maybe 299. For my particular scooter, 140 centimeters is pretty much exactly right on. Second is the pulse. The pulse is how many pickups is on your receiver for the speedo. So on my bike there's 2 little receivers, and so I've got it set to 2. If you have a different bike or you only use 1, or you can use, however many you've got, you set this to that. If you find that no matter what you're doing, you can't get a good accurate speed with your speedo, then you might want to change up your pulse and then try adjusting your wheel size to get the correct speed. Okay, so we know that's for your wheel circumference. Pulse is how many pickups are on your speedo pickup. Last one is factor. Now I've got an option of 0, 1, and 2. This is essentially how many cylinders you've got on your bike. Easiest way to check if this is right is to start your bike and see if it reads about right. Now for me, the 0 was spot on. I've got a 1-cylinder scooter, 0 is great. I'll show you what happens if we change it. If you've already got a pretty good idea of what your bike engine does, then changing this, I would say that's set for a 2-cylinder bike, and that's for a 4-cylinder bike, because as we increase the revs here, that's about 4,000 on my bike. Change this back to 0. Alright, back to 0. It reads correctly. So whether you've got a 1, a 2, 4-cylinder bike, just switch through until you find one that works. If you've got a 3-cylinder bike, don't know. You're going to have to experiment and see what works for you. Obviously, you can then just wait for it to go reset back to just the default screen, or you can hold the left-hand button. And that pretty much concludes my video. I hope this was helpful to some people, because I could not find very much information online, had to figure this out myself. Thanks a lot.